Skills and Fun Learning Academy. Princess Rose. Chapter 1. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a beautiful princess named Rose. Rose lived in a magnificent castle that was surrounded by a vast, enchanted forest. She spent her days playing in the castle gardens and exploring the forest with her friends, a group of talking animals who were her constant companions. One day, as Rose was wandering through the forest, she came across a mysterious, hidden door. The door was locked and guarded by a fierce dragon, but Rose was not afraid. She knew that this door must lead to something special, and she was determined to find a way to open it. With the help of her friends, Rose searched the forest for a key that would unlock the door. They searched high and low, but no matter where they looked, they could not find the key. Just when they were about to give up, they heard a faint voice calling out to them. It was the voice of an old, wise owl who lived in the tallest tree in the forest. The owl told Rose and her friends that the key to the hidden door was hidden deep within the castle's secret tunnels. He gave them a map that would lead them to the tunnels, and with a swish of his wings, he flew away. Determined to find the key, Rose and her friends set off on a journey through the castle's tunnels. They encountered all sorts of challenges and obstacles along the way, but they never gave up. And finally, after many long days and nights, they reached the chamber where the key was hidden. With the key in hand, Rose unlocked the hidden door and stepped through it, ready to discover what lay beyond. And that, dear reader, is where our story truly begins. Chapter 2. As Rose stepped through the hidden door, she found herself in a dark, underground chamber. The chamber was filled with strange, glowing plants and the faint sound of rushing water. Rose and her friends followed the sound of the water and soon came to a small stream that flowed through the chamber. As they followed the stream, they saw that it led to a beautiful, crystal-clear lake. The lake was surrounded by tall, stone walls and lit by a soft, glowing light. Rose and her friends marveled at the beauty of the lake and decided to take a closer look. As they approached the lake, they saw that it was home to a group of mermaids. The mermaids were singing and playing in the water, and they seemed to be having a great time. Rose and her friends watched in amazement as the mermaids swam and danced through the water. As they watched, one of the mermaids noticed them and swam over to them. The mermaid's name was Ariel, and she was the most beautiful mermaid that Rose had ever seen. Ariel welcomed Rose and her friends to the lake and invited them to join in the fun. Rose and her friends were thrilled to accept Ariel's invitation and spent the day playing and swimming with the mermaids. They had so much fun that they almost forgot about their quest to find the key to the hidden door. But eventually, they knew that it was time to return to the castle and continue their journey. As they said goodbye to the mermaids and turned to leave, Ariel gave them a gift. It was a small, sparkling stone that glowed with a soft, magical light. Ariel told Rose that the stone would help guide them on their journey and protect them from danger. Rose and her friends were very grateful for Ariel's gift and promised to take good care of it. And with that, they set off once again on their quest. Chapter 3. Rose and her friends continued their journey through the underground tunnels, guided by the sparkling stone that Ariel had given them. The tunnels were long and winding, and they were filled with all sorts of dangers and challenges. At one point, they encountered a group of giant, venomous spiders who tried to attack them. But Rose and her friends were brave and resourceful, and they were able to outsmart the spiders and escape. Later, they came to a fork in the tunnels and had to decide which path to take. One path was dark and treacherous, while the other was light and inviting. Rose and her friends consulted the sparkling stone and saw that it was glowing more brightly on the light path. So, they decided to follow the light path, hoping that it would lead them to their destination. As they walked, they heard a faint humming sound that grew louder and louder. Soon, they saw that the light path led to a beautiful, enchanted garden. The garden was filled with all sorts of exotic plants and flowers, and it was alive with the sound of singing birds. Rose and her friends were enchanted by the beauty of the garden and decided to explore it. As they walked, they saw that the garden was home to a group of friendly, talking insects. The insects welcomed Rose and her friends and invited them to join them in a feast. Rose and her friends were happy to accept the invitation and spent the day eating, singing, and playing with the insects. They had such a good time that they almost forgot about their quest. But eventually, they knew that it was time to continue their journey. As they said goodbye to the insects and prepared to leave the garden, they saw that the sparkling stone was glowing more brightly than ever. They knew that this was a sign that they were getting closer to their destination. And with that, they set off once again on their quest, their hearts full of hope and determination. Chapter 4. As Rose and her friends continued their journey through the underground tunnels, they encountered all sorts of challenges and dangers. But they were determined to find the key to the hidden door, and they refused to give up. At one point, they came to a vast, dark cave. The cave was filled with all sorts of strange noises and the faint sound of running water. Rose and her friends were a bit scared, but they knew that they had to keep moving forward. As they ventured deeper into the cave, they saw that it was home to a group of trolls. The trolls were large, ugly creatures with sharp teeth and long, scraggly hair. They lived in the cave and guarded a treasure that they had been hoarding for centuries. Rose and her friends tried to sneak past the trolls, but they were caught. The trolls were angry and demanded that Rose and her friends give them their treasure. But Rose and her friends had no treasure to give, so the trolls decided to keep them as prisoners instead. Rose and her friends were terrified, but they knew that they had to find a way to escape. They searched the cave and found a secret tunnel that led to the outside. With the help of their animal friends, they were able to outsmart the trolls and escape from the cave. As they emerged from the tunnel, they saw that they were back in the enchanted forest. They were relieved to be out of the cave and back in the safety of the forest. And with that, they set off once again on their quest, their hearts filled with hope and determination. Chapter 5. As Rose and her friends continued their journey through the enchanted forest, they encountered all sorts of wonders and wonders. The forest was alive with the sound of singing birds and the rustling of leaves in the breeze. At one point, they came across a beautiful, magical meadow. The meadow was filled with all sorts of exotic flowers and plants, and it was surrounded by a grove of tall, ancient trees. Rose and her friends were enchanted by the beauty of the meadow and decided to take a rest there. As they sat down to rest, they saw that the meadow was home to a group of friendly, talking fairies. The fairies were small, delicate creatures with delicate wings and bright, glowing halos. They welcomed Rose and her friends to the meadow and invited them to join them in a feast. Rose and her friends were happy to accept the invitation and spent the day eating, singing, and playing with the fairies. They had such a good time that they almost forgot about their quest. But eventually, they knew that it was time to continue their journey. As they said goodbye to the fairies and prepared to leave the meadow, they saw that the sparkling stone was glowing more brightly than ever. They knew that this was a sign that they were getting closer to their destination. And with that, they set off once again on their quest, their hearts full of hope and determination.
If you want a special story or fairy tale just for you, leave a comment with the topic, characters, and any special requests you may have. We'll do our best to bring your unique tale to life.